Louisville Cardinals in town to take on the Orangemen of Syracuse. Both teams 1-0 on the season. Glad to have you along for the Cards on Fox. Louisville trying to get a road win. The Orangemen trying to get the home season off in fine fashion. And this is a place where, Doug, you talk about a home field advantage. It's not full right now, but this is a very loud place, and we should see that here today.
Well, there's no doubt that there is a home field advantage. They'll put about 40,000 people in here in the Carrier Dome, Donnie. But I think part of the home field advantage is that it is hot. There is no air conditioning, as you mentioned, even though Carrier Corporation helped pay for this whole thing. And at the same time, you've also got a circumstance where the noise has nowhere to go. It bounces off the ceiling and comes right back down on the players.
Well, you see the Cardinals and the Orangemen both out on the field. Of course, I think we'll see a very hard-hitting game here to do as well. We'll have more as we get ready to kick it off with the Cardinals and the Orangemen live from the Carrier Dome. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. No question about this. We'll have the first option of the football. You see Johnny Morant. We talked about him in our Hardy's matchup. Those are his return numbers from last week, Doug. He is very dangerous.
Excellent athlete. Johnny Morant is big. He's fast. One thing he did, he had a 52-yard kick return against the North Carolina Tar Heels, and then he caught a 48-yard touchdown reception on the next play. Johnny Morant, a 100-yard drive on 2 plays all by himself.
That's pretty amazing. Nate Smith, of course, Wade Talashka out for several weeks. And Nate Smith has it teed up, ready to go. And we are just about underway here in the Carrier Dome as Smith, the senior from Louisville PRP, ready to approach the ball. And we are underway here in the Dome. They're going to want Morant to get it, but it's going to be one of the short men to pick it up. 25 Gregory, and Gregory has a little bit of room, gets it out to the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. So Gregory gets the return. Steve Gregory, a cornerback. And we look at number 5, R.J. Anderson, a senior, Doug, from Plainville, Connecticut. Started 7 of the 9 games he played in last year, but had an outstanding opening game this season.
20 of 33 with 61%, 3 TDs, and no interceptions against North Carolina in the game last week.
So Anderson will bring him up to the line of scrimmage. You'll see a lot of motion and movement in the offensive sets today for Syracuse. And they pitch it back to Reyes. You'll see him get a lot of carries today. And a good start for the Orangemen as they pick up 7, maybe 8 yards on the first carry. Robert McCune, the middle linebacker, on the stop for the Cardinals. Our Chevy starting lineups. Glad to have our Chevy dealers back with us today, and we'll take a look at the starting lineups in this matchup. There you see the offensive line for the Orange. A very experienced offensive line here today.
Nick Romeo, a 2-time academic All-American, an excellent player, a guy who they think is a big NFL prospect at center.
Second and short, they give it to Reyes again, and he has the Orangeman first down as he picks up about 3. Rod Day, the senior linebacker from Besserman, Alabama, came in. The backs and receivers, some really talented people. We talked about Reyes, but you got to watch Morant. This is a team that has a powerful offense.
They do. They absolutely do. And Thumb Belton, the fullback, does a great job of blocking for Reyes. And when Damian Rhodes comes in for Reyes, he's also an outstanding running back.
First and 10, Orangemen out to the 43-yard line. I formation backfield behind R.J. Anderson. And how about Reyes for another carry, and he's into Cardinal territory across midfield to about the 49 of Louisville. And Doug, it's pretty obvious they've got a Doak Walker candidate in Reyes. They have a veteran offensive line, and they're taking it right to the teeth of the Cardinal defense.
Reyes ran for 17 touchdowns last year. You see the defense for Louisville. Lopez, of course, the veteran in there. Marcus Jones, Satterfield, and Stanley. Satterfield played really hard last week. They were 2 weeks ago against Kentucky. They were really happy with his effort.
Second and short once again. Anderson wants to go up top. Flushed out of the pocket. Fires. And the closest man to the ball was number 1, Kerry Rhodes for Louisville. That looks like there was a mix-up in routes there, Doug, or either that or Anderson saw some pressure and just wisely threw it away.
Shows that he's got a strong arm, and he's going to try and take advantage of the fact that we've got one returning starter on Louisville's defense. Of course, you can see Johnson, McCoon, Rod Day, Day and McCoon, the captains for the defense at linebacker. And then Smart, Johnson, Kerry Rhodes, and of course Josh Minkins is the veteran cornerback back there for Louisville.
3rd and short now for the Orange. Motion in the backfield, option play. This time Reyes has to go down to try to get it. Well, that's one of the things you'll see, Doug. Of course, a scramble for the ball, still no indication, but it looked like the Cuse had it over there on the near sideline. And that's going to bring up a 4th down situation. You have to wonder why on short distance they were trying to catch the Cardinals off guard to go to the pass and then the high-risk option play.
Well, of course, they're going to come out. They've probably got their first 8 or 10 plays scripted, and they just didn't come together on this particular drive. This is actually what you call a lead option, where the fullback tries to block on the corner, and Reyes just dropped the pitch out.
Carney gets the punt away, and Victor Glenn will go back and take it at the 11. Glenn looking for some blockers and is chopped down at the 17-yard line. Coverage on the play by Steve Gregory. And a good look at Victor Glenn, and we'll see the Cardinals go on the offense for the first time. And the running game successful early, but out of the option, the fumble. Looked like that play had some room to develop, too. Just not a good pitch.
No, just not a good pitch at all. And, of course, Syracuse turned it over, and Louisville did what they needed to do. Led, of course, by Stephon LaFleur, the starting quarterback, making his 2nd start for the Cards.
LaFleur will send Shelton in motion. Kamer the lone setback, and LaFleur quickly goes out to Broderick Clark. Clark makes the catch. Tries to get a couple of extra tough yards and is knocked down at about the 25-yard line. Terrell Lemon, the right side cornerback, a 5'10", 170 redshirt freshman out of Miami. Broderick Clark, he's a guy the Cardinals you can make sure this year, Doug, is going to touch the ball a lot.
They want him to touch the ball a lot because he's an excellent runner. You can see here on the replay that he makes the catch. He's just trying to get a one-on-one situation and break the tackle. We'll take a look at the starting offensive line here in a second.
2nd down and a short 2. And LaFleur gives it off to Shelton. Shelton breaks 1 tackle. And it's going to be close to 1st down yardage. It all depends on the spot of the ball. Julian Pollard, the left end, made the stop. Shelton's going to get, well, we have a flag on the play, and it's going to be a procedure penalty against Louisville. Didn't see the penalty marker. Now we see it resting on the 25.
Procedure. Offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, Bobby Petrino calls the plays. He has an offensive coordinator and his brother, of course, Hall upstairs. And Bobby's not real happy about that call because it would have been close to 1st down yardage. Louisville had only 4 penalties all last game in the opener at Kentucky.
Don't want to make a penalty this early in the ball game, that's for sure.
So now it's 2nd and 7. And they're going to try to give it to Shelton again, and Shelton fights his way to the 25. Got about 4 of the 5 yards back. Rich Scanlon, the middle linebacker, and there's that Cardinal offensive line we made reference to.
Yeah, the encouraging thing is that you've got a lot of those guys that are going to be back next year, but Travis LaFew and Jason Spitz played very well last week. Dan Coons, of course, the veteran in there, along with Spencer and Foster. Clark and Tinch, Russell as well at receiver. Gent, the tight end, is not still back at 100%. And, of course, you've got Shelton, and Kamer will play fullback also for the Cards.
3rd and a long 3. The crowd on its feet here in the Carrier Dome. Trying to get the defense fired up. They flip it out to Ronnie Gent. Gent makes the catch, has the 1st down, and is knocked out of bounds by Lemon, but not before Ronnie Gent makes the catch. Of course, Ronnie Gent, the young man who has a chance to be a 4-time All-Conference USA performer. We'll take a look at that Syracuse defensive line.
The big player there is number 99, Gashlin, 283-pound senior. That's the guy that really needs to get blocked in the middle.
So 1st and 10 Louisville, the ball out to the 32. LaFleur's straight back to throw, wide open and complete. As the Cardinals get it out to J.R. Russell.
Russell just ran a little route underneath there. Didn't get a lot of yardage, but gained some positive yardage. Cards did really well in their opening game on first down plays, Don, and something they'd really like to do in this game as well, because it gives them an opportunity to really mix it up on second down. Now all of a sudden with second and long, you ask yourself what kind of play we're going to call here. Typically, Louisville would have passed the ball in second and long.
So now it's second and about 8. LaFleur steps up, fires across the middle. It's complete to Russell, or make that Tench. He takes a huge hit, but hangs onto the ball. And Greg Tench, Joshua Tench, whatever you prefer, he's going to have to come out of there. I mean, he gets belted, but he hangs on, Doug.
Well, you're going to see the safety come right over here. He eyes it the whole way.
Wow.
And that is Anthony Smith, a physical hitter, 6 foot, 202-pounder for Syracuse. And that's what is known as a D-cleater.
Wow.
21-yard reception for the Cardinals. 23, excuse me.
And another Louisville first down. Down to the 43 of Syracuse. Tench did a great job hanging on the ball. This is Michael Bush in at quarterback. Looked like it was designed to be maybe a running play, but a mix-up. Michael Bush, of course, the All-American high schooler out of Louisville Male. Anthony Smith, the free safety. And we're going to see Bush probably touch the ball some today, Doug.
They think Michael Bush can get some big plays for him against the Syracuse defense. So the Cardinal coaching staff is definitely going to try and put the ball in his hands. And while that play didn't look great, still not a bad result. Of course, here's the rest of the Syracuse defense led by Rich Scanlon, the middle linebacker there in the middle. He is a senior.
Second and 7. LaFleur comes to the near side, looking for it all for Russell in the end zone. He makes the catch. Touchdown, Louisville.
What a play by J.R. Russell.
Steve Gregory on the coverage, but J.R. Russell turned and found the ball, Doug James.
Well, it was laid up there. LaFleur threw it out there where Russell would have an opportunity to run underneath it. And you're right, Don. Russell was looking back for the ball. The defensive back just didn't have any idea where the football was. And Syracuse is giving up another early touchdown pass. They gave up 5 touchdown passes against North Carolina last week. It's a 40-yard touchdown reception.
So LaFleur goes to Russell for 40 yards and the score. And in comes Nate Smith to tack on the extra point. Well, you mentioned in our Bud Light game plan, Louisville needs to score first. They do. 7-0 Cardinals over the Orange. To the Orangemen offense, and as a result, we are tied. And our Cross Motors scoring drive here, 11 plays, 80 yards, 5:17. Kennedy actually takes it the final 2 yards. Don't forget Cross Motors, located at Watterson Expressway at Newburgh Road. Cross Motors, always at the crossroads of great savings and great service.
See here, just a nice little hole there on the left side. Not a lot of room to run, but you don't need much. Cardinals didn't get any penetration on that. Syracuse blocked that very well.
Roderick Clark will have a chance as he takes it at the 2. Clark right up the middle. He has that great speed. Oh, and is tripped up by number 25, Gregory. And Gregory could have saved a touchdown. You can tell Clark knew he got not only a great return, but it could have been even bigger.
Still an exceptional return. Broderick Clark, of course, against Kentucky, never really got going. He's going to find the seam here, and right about now he's full speed, and that's where you want to be. You can see him cut back, but a good open field tackle by Gregory. Cardinals still start with good field position. It's a 36-yard kickoff return.
So
31 yards, wasn't it?
Yep. So now we go in the offense for Louisville in a 7-7 game. Glad you joined us for the Cards on Fox today. Don Russell, Doug James here with you from the Carrier Dome as both teams trying to begin 2-0 on the season. LaFleur's the last time the Cardinals had the ball at a 40-yard touchdown strike. J.R. Russell out of the eye, and they're going to give it off to Sheldon, and Eric takes it for 3 yards off to the right side. Knocked down by Ferry, Diamond Ferry, junior strong safety. And of course, I think when you talk about Eric Shelton, a lot of questions. He had the, I think, a leg. Of course, he transferred. How do you do after you sit out as a true freshman playing Florida State? I think he responded pretty well in the first game.
Well, I can tell you right now, when he walked on campus at Louisville, I said he was the real deal because I saw him play in high school. He did miss some time. He had to sit out. He had a broken leg, but he is back and ready to play.
Second down, we'll call it 6. LaFleur is going upstairs again, looking for J.R. Russell. Fight for the ball. Russell came down with it. Unbelievable catch for J.R. Russell as he made the touchdown catch earlier, Doug. This is even a better catch here from Russell.
Well, Russell makes LaFleur's look good here because this is going to be a nice stat, but it was not a good throw.
Look at that.
A good break on the ball by Limp, the defensive back. But you know what? Russell wants it more, Donnie. He just rips it away from him, comes down with the reception and a big first down.
Look at that. You're right. He just took it away from Lemon and held on to it. This time trying to run it, not getting much at all.
That was a nice defensive play that time, stuffing it up in the middle of that time for the Orange men.
Rich Scanlon on the stop. You see number 57. And Doug, I know you got a special message you want to get into a young Cardinal fan, and we'd like to do that.
I'd just like to say hello to Kyle Pratt and his family. David Curry been battling an illness most of his life, and I just want to know everybody's about him. The biggest Cardinal fan out there.
And we wish you well, Kyle, and your family. Hope you're watching and enjoying the game today. LaFleur is this time a little bit tall, looking for Broderick Clark. Stephon had been perfect. Now 6 out of 7, 109 here in the first quarter. And you know, you gotta really respect this young man. I think everybody said, well, we're going to wait and see what happens. Of course, he sat and watched Dave Ragone for a lot of years, but I've been impressed with LaFleur. He's come in and he does the things he needs to do.
Well, and certainly Bobby Petrino, Louisville's head coach, is going to try and put LaFleur in a position he does the best.
3rd and 8. 5 wide receivers. This one in and out of the hands.
Michael Bush.
Yep. Michael Bush over there is a wideout. And, of course, he's used to be on the throwing end of it, but he is a great athlete. Let's see it here.
It was a good throw that time, and Bush came back and couldn't hang on to it.
That would have been a first down, too.
Yep. It was a big play there. Now it's 4th down. Louisville's going to line up and kick a field goal. That was a key play in this drive for the Cards.
Nate Smith will try a 48-yard field goal from the 38-yard line. And kick has plenty of distance, and the kick perfect. 48-yard field goal for Nate Smith. He was drilling them in the pregame show. Louisville 10, Syracuse nothing, or 7 rather, here at the Carrier Dome. And Syracuse tied at 10 here in the second quarter, and our 4th second quarter. Glad to have you along for the Cards on Fox, as Syracuse has an opportunity and comes back with that field goal to tie the game at 10. Our cross-scoring drive, 10 plays, 55 yards and 355, the 42-yard boot. Cross Motors, always at the crossroads of great savings and great service. Waterson Expressway and Newburgh Road. Got a new Grand Prix. It's a slick mobile. Still have a Jeep, though, too. Gotta love them. Here's Broderick Clark, takes it at the 1. Clark with some running room. Clark to the outside, still on his feet, and Broderick Clark. Wow, we have 2 of the best return men you're going to see in Morant and Clark here today, as he returns this one about 52 yards. Wow, what a return. Make it a 54-yard return, and here it is, Doug.
Of course, you can see another big seam. It's just blocked very well, and he's trying to find a way to get past the last guy there. And he goes down. He's tackled by, of all people, the kicker.
Oh, don't say that.
Nobody wants to be tackled by the kicker ever.
That's exactly right.
He's got 2 returns for 85 yards now. Broderick Clark having a good day back there.
Yes, he is. LaFleur is going to play action, goes upstairs. There's Joshua Tench. And Tench inside the 25 to the 22. Anthony Smith, the free safety on the stop. But, Doug, I tell you right now, Bobby Petrino really mixing it up. He was wide open. Look at that.
He was. It was a play-action fake. And look at the vertical pattern just right down the hash. Good tackle there in the open field. not before Tench made the grab. He had to turn to make it. Once again, Louisville plans the pitch and catch, which is what Paul Petrino told us earlier in the week they thought they could do.
25-yard pickup on that pass play. Down to the 22. LaForce almost falls down, and in the process gets it to Lionel Gates, but the problem for Stefan in the beginning. He might have stepped on a foot. Christian Fiera, the nose tackle, the senior out of New Jersey, made the stop, but Stefan did a good job of just getting that ball handed off to Lionel Gates that time.
He certainly did. Of course, the play got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was all. But a lot of times, those and I mean cases when you see a quarterback stumble coming out under center now. The I formation for the Cards.
And you got Russell to the right. Clark comes in motion. Two outstanding wideouts. LaForce tried to get it right back out to a run. Was waiting, but it was batted down by Cater. Grandma knocked it down, and that play was developing a little bit too, Doug. Good call. I like the combination of what we're seeing here.
See here, though, he throws, and look at how high. Actually, the ball was just low and a high jump all at the same time. See on the action, he's trying to get it back across the field here. Just a good defensive play that time by the Syracuse Orangemen.
Just a little bit higher, and that would have been some good yardage. Now it's 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals. The crowd getting into it. Bad snap. LaForce picks it up. Now he wants to run. Look at LaForce. Tiptoes and goes. Did he touchdown? No. Good Stefan LaForce with that tip down the sideline there, DJ.
He reminds me a little bit of Marty Lowe.
Right.
In that I don't think he's got an exceptional arm or an exceptional runner, but he's smart. He's here. He's pull the ball, he's tuck it in, and then also, hey, I can get a little more here. Look at that. Oh, nearly got in for the touchdown. Excellent, smart play. So often those kinds of plays turn into big disasters for quarterbacks. Stefan LaForce made a great, heady decision there to get his team all the way down 6 yards.
And you noticed it was, he knew he had to do something. Didn't do anything other than what was, and that was the run. Didn't go from the 6. Going to hand this one out to Shelton, and Shelton fights his way to the 4, maybe the 3-yard line. Knocked down by Rich Scanlon, the middle linebacker, very active today. Of course, Eric Shelton, 151 yards and 25 carries, a 6-point yard per carry. Kentucky.
Scanlon, of course, has made 105 career tackles for the Orangemen. He's the senior captain, the leader there on the defense, made an excellent tackle coming across there and stopping Eric Shelton.
2nd and 3. This one goes to Shelton. He wants to cut it outside. Now turns it in. And did it get in? Say there's a... Now one official came in immediately and ruled that the ball was down. The ball was down. It was picked up by Ferry, Diamond Ferry, who was actually converted running back. Let's see it here.
We'll get a look at it. You can see here, this is just a little bit of a zone, outside zone play. And Shelton cuts it back in. He gets hit and certainly down, and maybe in the end zone.
What the heck is that?
Looked like the ball came down on the goal line to me. That particular shot.
Yeah, really. 3rd and goal now. I imagine you're going to see Shelton again. Nope, play action, flips it over in the end zone, and look who's there. DJ Kamer, who caught his first collegiate touchdown against Kentucky. Doug, I think that might have been the same play that he scored on at UK.
Well, it was his 2nd reception, 2nd touchdown, and he's averaging about 1.5 yards per reception. But it doesn't matter because DJ Kamer on the play action fake.
What a great story, too.
Got over on the rollout. Former walk-on.
Yep, Wagner High School.
Outstanding story, and that there is not quite a Rudy story, but certainly a guy who worked as a kicker at Kroger to help pay his way until he earned a scholarship.
Louisville leads at 17 to Clark, and number 2, Morant for Syracuse, has touched the ball on kickoffs.
Of course, Broderick Clark, 2 kickoff returns for 82 yards. He's averaging 50 yards a return. I don't know how that adds up. I'll call that 41, but The stat sheet says 50.
That's a good number. And this one very deep, and Clark's going to bring it out about 3 yards deep, and he will not make it to the 20-yard line. Good special teams coverage this time by the Orange.
Remember in the first half in the pregame, we talked about Louisville wanted to have tempo because they felt like the crowd would really be into the game. The crowd has not been the kind of factor that I would have anticipated, and I think some of that is because Louisville got up early, and I think that's made a difference for the Cardinals offensively to not have to deal with the crowd noise, although I have not seen in this game yet where Stephon LaForce has had to change the play at the line of scrimmage. So Coach Petrino's calling the play in the huddle. They're going to go out and they're going to run it. And you'll notice that most of the passing plays the Cardinals have run were just like versus Kentucky 2 weeks ago. 3-step drop and play action pass. That's where Stephon LaForce is most comfortable.
1st and 10 Cardinals from the 19-yard line. LaFleur is going right up top and in and out of the hands of Broderick Clark. That one underthrown. Good coverage that time by Steve Gregory. It was Gregory that was beaten on the first Cardinal touchdown today by J.R. Russell, but that ball a little bit underthrown and allowed the defense to track the ball.
That was a good play action fake. No pass rush at all, but just a floater by LaForce and almost intercepted by Gregory. You can see where the receiver becomes a defender there.
Sure did.
Because the ball was really thrown up for grabs.
So 2nd down and 10. Kamer motion in the backfield, a sweep to the near side by Shelton. He breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and fights his way out to the 38-yard line. Anthony Smith brings down Eric Shelton after his best run of the day.
Eric Shelton is excellent, and I tell you who he reminds me of is Eddie George.
Yep.
Look at how big he is, and look at the body length. Great hole there, but wow. Stick your head in there and get a headache. Good blocking downfield.
That's a great comparison, really is.
You can see that there was some good blocking downfield too as Coons got down there and really helped open up the hole.
1st down for the Cardinals after that long run of 21. They flip this one out, does LaForce, trying to get it to Broderick Clark a little bit too high off his hands. Julian Pollard putting the pressure that time on Stephon LaForce.
A play action pass. You can see Bobby Petrino on the sidelines. As you mentioned, Don, he calls the plays, and he likes calling the plays from the sideline. They don't come down from the box. And the reason is because he thinks tempo is extraordinarily important, and he wants his team to get the play, get out of the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and make it happen.
On 2nd and 10 from the Cardinal 39, they give it off to Shelton. Shelton this time 2, maybe 3 tough yards. Stopped by Kelvin Smith, a redshirt freshman linebacker from New Hempstead, New York. A strong linebacker for the Syracuse defense. You know, you talk about Coach Petrino. We joked with his dad about keeping all the old playbooks. He actually goes back and looks at a lot of old plays and he'll bring them out. He talked about some that he used last year to help Auburn win a game when a couple of running backs were hurt. He was a math major too. Mathematician. Likes to deal with those numbers and figures. There's LaForce. Gets it out to Clark. Clark trying to break for the first down. That's why he's so good. He caught it, looked at the field, and knew where he needed to go, DJ. James Weiss on the stop the right end.
Well, you're going to see here on the just the 3-step drop. They're going to throw it out here. Clark's going to make it. Watch him. He's going to go that way and got upfield for the first down. You can see here again. Watch him. He's going to do a little. It's a little dipsy-do there. Woo! Watch that. There he goes.
He knows where to go.
Rich Scanlon just could not get him in the open field. He picked up the first down.
Play action, LaForce again. This one complete to Clark, and Clark inside the 25 to the 24. And I tell you what, Doug, this has been a great offensive game plan today. Louisville has really mixed it up well and had Syracuse defensively on its heels.
Well, Syracuse, of course, gave up 505 yards against North Carolina, had to win in triple overtime. Last year they had their defensive struggles and figured that if they were going to win this game, the Orangemen were going to have to outscore Louisville. But also, not only is Louisville doing a good job of throwing and running the ball, they're using some clock here on this drive as well.
Timeout. LaForce didn't like what he saw and didn't hesitate, and he takes the timeout. 2010 Louisville back to the Carrier Dome in a moment. Arkansas, Texas. And they don't have Notre Dame, Michigan. You'll have to hold your breath. Play action, LaForge. Wide open in the flat is Michael Bush. Bush to the 10. And Michael Bush, does he get in? Touchdown, Louisville. Look at the excitement on the All-American freshman, Michael Bush. He'll have his day to call the signals one day at Cardinal Country, but he gets his first touchdown as a receiver, Doug James.
Well, it was just a play action. Bush got out into flat, and there was nobody out there. Louisville ran everybody off. The linebackers got sucked in, and Michael Bush did an excellent job getting downfield and getting into the end zone.
And you see Paul hit past Coloni, 26-10 now Louisville. And Nate Smith will try to tack on the extra point, and it is good. 27-10, Louisville, a 17-point lead over the Cuse. In overtime, NC State and Ohio State.
Is Ohio State's luck going to run out on them finally?
So the Cardinals deep in their own territory now got to face that end zone crowd as Sheldon gets the carry and is knocked down by Smith. Kelvin Smith and Scanlon over there on the play. This is the worst field position Louisville's had today, and probably because Glenn decided to field that punt.
Yeah, and it's not a good decision. The Cardinals have to be poised. They're going to find themselves in a lot of tough situations this year. They got a big offensive line, a good running back that can just body up, find a hole, and at least get out close to the 10 to give them a little room if they have to punt.
Right down by the O-zone, they call it. Give it off to Shelton, and he fights his way out close to the 10-yard line.
That's kind of what I'm talking about there. Again, I don't know that you risk throwing the ball here.
Gashlin on the stop.
I think if you had a really experienced quarterback, maybe you're going to see the good cutback right there by Shelton, but he just got his momentum stopped just enough for Syracuse to squeeze it down. But I'd hand the ball to 32 again. I think he might get you a first down.
3rd down and 7. He is going to put it up top. Completes it out to J.R. Russell, and Russell swings loose enough to get the first down. Lemon had him wrapped up, but J.R. Russell has had a big game today, able to fight forward, and that is a huge Cardinal first down. Field position as much as anything else, D.
Really a big play, and obviously that's why I'm not a football coach, because I'd have been too concerned. I'd have run it for 2 yards and tried to punt it away, but Bobby Petrino, a lot smarter than I am at play calling. He knew the right thing to call, and more importantly, his team executed well.
And now they move it out to the 16. LaForge back to throw, looking downfield again for Russell, and J.R. Russell makes another spectacular catch at the 42-yard line of Syracuse. Oh, what a day for J.R. Russell. Lemon on the coverage, but J.R. has been the big boy in Dallas today. We're in Syracuse, but this is a J.R. that's been big.
He gets some good separation here and just lays out and makes the catch. That is a big-time catch by a receiver. Look at that. Watched it all the way in, hit the ball, cradles it, and goes down. You know, you can't cover a guy much better than that, honestly. And Lemon was right in his hip pocket. It was just well thrown and an excellent catch.
You took the words out of my mouth. Give LaFleur credit for throwing that one right on the money. Clock down to 2 seconds. Going to have to hurry. They're coming to Shelton. Shelton fights his way. Boy, he is a low. 40 inside to the 39-yard line. And then he ran into Christian Ferreira, a senior.
Excuse me, Donnie. Russell's got 5 catches for 119 yards. He'd already, when he had 3 catches for 71, had reached a career high. So excellent for him. And then you can see Eric Shelton's numbers. He is real close to another 100-yard game. And I'm a betting man. I'm thinking he might go over 100 on this particular drive.
And JR, good candidate for our Jeep player of the game, too. This one comes to Shelton to the near side. Shelton gets to the outside and is going to be close to first down yardage, maybe a little bit shy. Anthony Smith, free side safety. Look at the arms on Shelton when he runs back to that auto.
He's serious. You can see, again, they're pulling out here. Watch this. You can see, get a block to the outside. Shelton makes one guy miss, almost breaks another tackle. Just so physical. I know how you tackle a guy like that. I mean, you know, you say, oh, well, take him low. Well, his legs are going to take your head off. Whatever you do, you better hit him hard and wrap him up.
27-20, third down, and we'll call it 1. Give it off to Shelton. Shelton up the hill. First down and then some. He was hit by Anthony Smith. But number 22, Diamond Ferry, just hit him first. And he just, it's like he ran into a wall.
Yeah.
Watch this. Watch the first guy that hits him here.
Great block in the middle there. Look
Watch
at that.
it.
Body's up there.
You couldn't see the first one. You saw the end
guys
of
were
it.
just bouncing off of him. He was one tackle away, breaking one tackle away from going into the end zone.
Yes, he was.
That puts him at 102 yards.
First and 10 Cardinals at the Syracuse 28. The fours. Up. That time JR started to run with it before he caught it. And a little smile from the defender. I think the defender is probably, I'm glad you didn't catch that one. You wore me out today.
Watch a good throw again, and you can see it's a doink right off the face mask. I can tell you, if he plays the way he's played today in every game, and he has one of those a game,
that's all right.
I think he'll let him go.
You could see he got a little ribbing that time from Ferry.
No, he was thinking, what am I going to do when I catch it?
That's right. So it's second and 10.
A little motion up front by the Cardinal offensive line.
Ball to the snap. Ball start. Offense. Still. Second down.
Doug, this is very, very similar. Of course, didn't get to a 2-point game of what we saw in Lexington. We're going to see if we see the movement here. You see if you can catch it. Well, somebody must have been outside that perimeter. But remember when Louisville, Kentucky came back within 2. They had those long 2 drives. Louisville, this is a big drive if they can get some points.
Only Louisville's third penalty, too, Don.
Second and 15. The low-end penalties last year was 7. Now we have a flag. Boy, that came late. That play had already developed. Must have been another motion penalty. Prior to the snap, my butt. They snapped that ball, and then the flag came well after the play started.
Can you say my butt on television?
Say yes if you want to. I don't care.
I didn't see any motion there. Bobby Petrino was sitting in the play. Oh, he's going with the choo-choo plane. Whatever that was. He acted like he was doing a train whistle there. Now the Cardinals 4 penalties. They averaged over 10 penalties a game last year, so this has been a remarkable turnaround for the Cardinals in terms of the penalties. Second and very long, no.
LaFleurs throws, complete again to guess who? J.R. Russell. Inside to 25 to the 24, did not get the first down. But once again, Stephon LaFleurs
knocked a girl down on the sideline, J.R. What are you thinking over there?
I tell you, this has been a great combination today, D.
Another good throw, and you can see a good route. See where he buys himself a little room. He's going to get outside, and whoops,
wow.
Man, he hit her hard.
Well,
goodness gracious.
Well, you got to be alert on the sideline.
Sorry to see that.
Yeah, she's getting checked out by the police. EMS over there, probably to make sure she's all right.
It's a blitz.
And they give it off to Lionel Gates, and Gates does not get first down yardage. Gets it inside the 20 to the 19. And the decision here.
I think you got to go for the, well, they're going to go for the first down.
Yep.
Now watch maybe for a long count here to see if they can draw them off sides, Don. But Bobby Petrino is an aggressive coach. He knows if they can score on this drive, it's going to make a huge difference. Here's a third timeout for Syracuse.
Yep.
They want a timeout from the sidelines.
Yep, they didn't expect Louisville probably to go for it there, Doug. And as a result, the Cuse has expired all timeouts today. And look, Pasqualoni saying, who called that timeout?
No, he called the timeout.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah. Pasqualoni is saying to Anthony Smith, you're supposed to be in. What were you doing running off the field?
So
I
that's
believe.
why he called the timeout. Smith, a 37-yard effort. It is on the way, and it is good.
37-yard.
So Nate, that's 3 of 3. He now has tied David Akers for second place on the career field goals made. Ronnie Bell, the all-time leader at 36, but this guy's going to be the leader probably by next week. I tell you, he has been so consistent, the senior out of Louisville PRP.
350 pounds of him. Listed as an offensive lineman, but he scored a touchdown as a fullback.
Oh man, he's excited. You know, he's a person that doesn't talk much. But you know, when we called that play, you know, he had the smile on his face when we gave him the ball. You know, he was happy. He was getting in. He wasn't getting denied. He wasn't going to be denied.
At first, I thought it was a joke. Because, you know, offensive line coach Summer, you know, he told me, like, I got a surprise for you. So we get to practice, and they put me at fullback. I was like, oh, man. And they gave me the ball. So. And
there's freshman Michael Bush. He passed for 31 yards, caught 56 yards, and ran for 23 in his first home game as a Cardinal. He loved every part of the 42-14 win over UTEP.
I did. I enjoy every moment just walking out there, you know, before the game, going out through the smoke. So, yeah, fans is all into it, so I like it.
Mike can do a lot of things, you know. Last week we got the touchdown pass to him, so we told him that, you know, if he wants to play a whole bunch, he's going to have to block now, too, because otherwise they'll just be waiting for him every time he comes in.
And the Cards host Temple next to
Syracuse. Finally, the Cards playing in front of the home fans and taking on one of its own. UTEP coach Gary Nord, a former U of L player and coach. His brother, current assistant head coach Gary Nord, or rather Greg Nord. Miners hanging in there early, game tied at 7 when Stephon LaForce hits Michael Bush on the screen pass. He has thoughts of getting to the end zone, but after a 56-yard pickup, he's brought down at the 7-yard line. A couple of plays later, LaForce finds a wide-open Ronnie Gent for the tight end's first touchdown of the season. Cards take the 14-7 lead. After an Eric Shelton touchdown makes it 21-7, Cards have it 4th and 2, and Bush takes the snap as the up-back. He hits Brent Johnson for the first down to keep the drive alive. Same drive, Coach Bobby Petrino lines up big number 76, Kurt Quarterman at fullback. He dives in, taking the handoff in for the score. His first rushing touchdown of his life, he says. U of L cruises for the 42-14 victory to go to 3-0 on the year.
I think it was a good start by our offense. Would like to see our defense start the game out a little faster and get us the ball back right away. But it was good to be behind, you know, see how we're going to react. I think that's always good for you then when you get behind and have to come back and win.
Do you feel your first reception kind of set it up for the rest of the game?
A little bit. I mean, because we was kind of down when we came out. You know, I thought we was kind of pumped up, but I guess a little long run and then me getting caught kind of put the, you know, intensity in the guys' eyes, I guess. So it was fun.
Former U of
Would start the season undefeated, Bob Dominy looks at the latest conquest.
It was a perfect fall day for football, and the Bobby Petrino home schedule opened with a little Auburn flavor as the band and cheerleaders led the team into the game to the swell of Red lovers lining the way. It was also a perfect day of football. Well, almost perfect. The Cards, 37.5-point favorites, had El Paso take the opening kickoff to the 48. 10 plays later, Johnny Higgins toted the leather the final 16, and the Cards trailed 7-0.
Any concerns about your defense?
You know, I don't know yet. We just got to watch the video. I thought that they moved the ball on us more than I thought they would coming in.
But the rest of the day belonged to the guys in red and black. Stephon LaForce threw a pair of touchdown passes in the first quarter. This spectacular catch by Josh Tinch in the back of the end zone, not of the score. On the next drive, the big play was by freshman Michael Bush, who took in the swing pass left and scooted 56 yards to the UTEP 7.
We've been doing it in practice the whole time, and except for the part of me getting caught, other than that, we just practice.
2 plays later, LaForce finds tight end Ronnie Gent to give the Cardinals the lead for good. 2 more score in the second quarter. Eric Shelton on the dive, and then Shelton, the workhorse on the next drive, finished off by 6'5", 350-pound Fridge, Kurt Quarterman from 1 yard out, and it's 28-7 at the half.
And you stuck it in easy.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little baby refrigerator. That's what they call me at practice, so I got in there.
The second half was a hail of subs getting some work. The youngster that stood out was backup quarterback Justin Riscotti, whose passing showed some zip, and his feet showed some hops as he scampers 35 yards down the left sideline for the Cards' final score in the 42-14 run.
Nobody was open, dropped back, it was third down, knew how to get a first down, and I got a little bit more in the first down.
The U of L team celebrated with their fans a 3-0 start. Some pretty nifty numbers, even for former assistant under Howard Schnellenberger. Gary Noor.
What a great atmosphere. I sure hope the community continues to support them, because if they continue to support them the way they did today, and with the football team they could have a real special football team this year.
Anytime you win 42-14 and you start the season 3-0, who's to complain? Well, maybe a little bit. About the crowd, could be better. Mike?
All right, thank you, Rob.
Tossing another scoring pass to Richard Owens from the 7, 14-0 U of L. Temple knocking on the door in the second quarter. Mike McCann loses the handle. Chad Ripsey recovered for the Cardinals. Justin Riscotti replaced LaFours and struggled a bit, going 8 for 16 with a couple of picks. But he did connect with Ronnie Gent with this TD pass in the final seconds of the first half. Amazing catch by Gent. The Cardinals led 21-0. They win it 21-12 over the Owls.
You kind of get the feeling that we kind of, didn't play very well. I was just talking to Jason Spitz, and I was saying, they never stopped us the whole game. We stopped ourselves with holding, offsides, false start, just lots of penalties. Our defense really, I think, kept us in the game. But, yeah, we feel like we didn't play our best game for sure.
Well, we're 4-0. Got that going for us, which is nice. Basically, I did a bad job of calling the game. Didn't do a good job of putting Justin in good situations, getting him easy completions, and we really got out of our rhythm.
Ed, he would suffer a concussion. He was able to come back here later in the first quarter. Touchdown pass to Richard Owens. Then he had to leave the game with Louisville up 14-0. Justin Riscotti comes in off the bench at quarterback for U of L. He got this touchdown pass late in the first half to Ronnie Gent. 21-0 Louisville at the half. Riscotti did throw 2 interceptions in the ball game. Louisville's offense sputtered in the second half, but Temple, they made it interesting before falling to Louisville. 21-12 was the final.
55 seconds into the game. That is Stephon LaFours passing across the middle to J.R. Russell, extending his streak to 15 games with a completion, but he's not finished until he scores from 55 yards out. 7-0 Cards. Next possession, LaFours keeps and runs straight ahead, and look at this helmet-to-helmet hit. He would suffer a concussion, but he didn't know it at that point, pretty much because he was out of it. So he stays in the game. 4 plays later, he throws the touchdown pass 7 yards into the end zone to Richard Owens, 14-zip U of L.
He's going to connect with J.R. Russell.
Yeah, this was the second play of the game, and threw a hitch to J.R. Did a nice job after the catch. Got it down, I think, inside the 10. I think they called it down at the 7. And unfortunately, we had to settle for a field goal here. I think you see us lining up, kicking a field goal. And Nate Smith has done an excellent job of field goal kicking for us. And I think he tied the record yesterday for the most field goals. So he's done a nice job.
Sure has. 6 plays, 57 yards. You're on top 3-0, but here comes the Army right here, and they're stopped pretty quick by
Montavious Stanley there with the tackle. Montavious doing a real nice job for us, and he's still real young, but plays very hard. Got us the ball back, and here you see Stephon in the shotgun hitting Joshua Tinch, and Joshua had a great game for us. Ran real well after the catch, and we have got to get him the ball more because he's such a good football player.
You turn this one over right here, Coach, and Army gets on the ground, gets the ball.
Yeah, that's what we didn't want to do. We felt like going into the game, if we didn't turn it over, we'd be fine and not give them opportunities. And then actually they line up and kick a field goal here and tie it up 3-3.
They held the ball for a long time, 13 plays, 43 yards, but you did hold them to the field goal, and we're all knotted up once again. And here comes
run a little naked here and ran a wheel route with young Colby Smith, and Colby was wide open, and Stephon made a nice throw. And Colby's a great football player. He's just a true freshman, one of the true freshmen that we're playing. He's playing a lot of fullback for us, is a tailback, and has very good hands, so we like to throw him the football.
That play covers 45 yards, and here you come once again on the ground.
Yeah, that's Eric Shelton. That's the running back that you see right there. Eric coming downhill, making a nice move, and it's 4th and 1, and he breaks it for a touchdown, and that was a very well-executed play.
And the way you said that is, what I imply from that is that's the Eric Shelton you want to see.
That's the Eric Shelton that we all know right there, running hard, running downhill. Here we have a nice play by Marcus Jones on their read play. They're trying to read the backside in, whether to give it or keep it, and Marcus actually tricked the quarterback and made the tackle.
Well, here's Stefan, and he's back to pass, but picked on this one.
Yeah, that wasn't a good job. Stefan usually has more poise than that, and there was nobody open. He got pressured, which we don't like to have happen, and then he just threw it, and they made an interception, ran it back for a touchdown, and put some pressure on us, tied it up 10-10.
Here you are tied in the second quarter, but you answered the call.
We did. We came back here with another naked and threw it to Richard Owens, made a very nice run, and it was a very well-executed play. We get called for a holding penalty downfield by Tiger Jones, and Tiger really tried to pull his hands back, and they just made the call, and that happens.
And here we go once again. Here's the man you're talking about, Eric Shelton on the outside there.
Again, doing a real nice job making one cut and getting vertical, and just about ran through that last tackle, would have took it all the way. Here he is at fullback, pitch it to Michael. Eric makes a nice block, and Michael Bush runs it in for a 35-yard touchdown, and great play.
He looked like he had the wheels up and flying on that run right there.
He really is amazing how fast he is for being just about 250 pounds and how quick his feet are. You know, he continues to make plays all over the place, and I can't say enough about that.
I know you continually talk about getting him more plays too, right?
Yes, we sure do. And then here's a kickoff, and we covered kickoffs very well all night except for there. William Gay's got to run down and make that tackle. And then Hammer actually missed a tackle. So most of the time when we're not covering the kickoffs right, we're missing tackles, and we still work hard at correcting that.
Kicker Nate Smith makes the tackle. Nice play there.
And then here they are on that same read play again, and our defense is defending it well. And the thing that we did well on defense is we gave them negative plays. And here they're trying to run an option play, and you'll see Kerry Rhodes come up and didn't make the tackle, but disrupted the timing, and then we got two other guys running to the football. I think that our safeties did a much better job of sprinting to the football than they had the previous game.
Yeah, Coach, did you bring the safeties more in this game to blitz the safeties?
We did. We brought them and tried to pressure them and make them throw the ball quick. Here they are on a naked, and you see the speed of Robert McCune does a great job. And I was hoping they would just bat the ball down there. It was scary to see it flopping around and giving them a chance to catch it.
Yeah, that was 4th and goal from the 1, and you make the stop. You hold Army right there. And Cardinal fans are appreciative of that great defense you put out yesterday.
Yeah, I was impressed with our defense. You know, they continue to keep the team out of the end zone. Here we have a nice little scramble and then dump it off to Lionel Gates. And Lionel, you know, didn't have as many yards as he would like carrying the ball. And after that fumble, we probably didn't give it to him as much as we planned going in. But he had some receiving yards, and that really helped, his ability to catch the ball and get yards after the catch.
You moved the ball downfield on this last drive, but the clock was against you, and clock ran out, and you're going to take a 17-10 lead at halftime.
Yeah, I made a mistake there in the 2-minute drive. I should have called a timeout earlier, and then I think we would have been able to get a field goal. But we got backed up on a sack and then just threw the ball there and weren't able to have enough time to get a timeout to get a field goal at the end.
And you got the offense clicking in the third quarter. Things started moving for the Cardinals. We're going to take a look at those highlights. But first off, we're going to...
And got the completion to Ronnie. Ronnie's getting better and better. I think he's just about back to full speed. Here we run a fake reverse, throw the ball down the sideline, and looks like Michael going up and taking a rebound down like his old Mayo days. But what a catch, and what a player he is. He's so exciting. He can do so many things.
And more we see why you say you want to just put the ball in his hands.
Yeah, we sure do. And here you see Eric running again and hitting it hard. And he got 3 touchdowns on the game, which was a great thing for us and really good for him because he worked so hard in practice this week trying to get it back to where he knows he can run.
7 plays, 68 yards, you score, you're up 24-10, and then they come up with this fake punt.
That was a well-executed play on their part, and they put T.J. Patterson in a bad position. He didn't know whether to cover his guy or go make the tackle, and unfortunately they converted on it. Here they got the snap, and we put pressure on him. He had to throw the ball away. And our defense came up with a good stop here. Anytime you have to go back out onto the field is a nice stop. First down play action, we got the ball down to Tinch on the sideline, and that's one of our big plays of the game. It was good. The number of completions we had with the number of the yards, we were definitely throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah, it was over 24 yards per completion. I mean, over 20 yards for completion. And by the way, Tinch was wide open in that play.
Yeah, well-executed play. We did a nice job on the play fake, and then we get another field goal here by Nate. It's nice when you know you're inside the 30 that you can count on getting at least 3 points on the board.
Okay, so the Cardinals are on top, 27-10 at this point. That was a 40-yard, 5-play drive, and here you are back on offense once again.
Throw the ball down the middle, and JR does a nice job going up and taking the ball away. Just about got it in the end zone, and we need to take care of the ball there and not let it come out at the end. But that was a really nice play by JR. Showed his athletic ability and really his will to go up and get the ball.
66 yards on that play, and that puts you in great shape right here to give it to number 32.
We did, and we had a real nice lead block there by DJ Kamer, and DJ's been a little bit banged up and hasn't played as much as he did early in the year, but came in there and made a great block, and Eric took it in for a touchdown.
Third touchdown for Eric Shelton, as you indicated earlier. He had 3, and that was number 3. And no more scoring, but a lot of football left in the fourth quarter.
And whereas Bobby LeFew there with real good pressure on the quarterback, got the ball popped up in the air, and Robert McCune comes up with his first interception, which was exciting for him and for the defense. You can see their enthusiasm there.
He got banged up on one of the, I think, kickoffs. Came out of the game for a while?
Yeah, just for a couple plays and then went right back in. And here we go with a really nice return by Robert Haskins, and he's juking around and they catch him from behind. And actually that's a nice play by the Army defender. You know, he reached in, stripped the ball, and Robert's hands are so small he has to do a good job of really tucking it away when he gets in traffic.
Here's Kerry Rhodes with a pick right here. And
very nice play by Kerry. Jumps out in the air and tips it, makes the interception. Really just shows his athletic ability. And we had good pressure on the quarterback, which caused it.
We're going to come up with, well, there's Kerry Rhodes with a nice knockdown there.
Yeah, another defended pass, and actually thought he maybe could have intercepted that one, would have took it back for a touchdown. Here they are again with a pretty good pass rush, and there's Antoine with another interception. It's really nice to see him playing so well, and I can't say enough about the sacrifice he's made for the football team as far as going from receiver to corner.
And that is his second pick of the season.
And here we see a little young freshman running back that I think is going to be real special, and the Cardinal fans are going to really like in Colby Smith and his ability to run the ball.
Here tonight, Louisville plays host to Tulane in an important Conference USA matchup. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to College Football Friday. I'm Sean McDonough, delighted to have you with us for this battle between two of the most potent and exciting offenses in all of college football. Both Tulane and Louisville averaging more than 32 points per game. But the wild card in this matchup tonight could be the Tulane defense, arguably the worst in the nation. They are dead last in the country in total defense, giving up nearly 500 yards per game. And they're third from the bottom in scoring defense, giving up 38.5 points per game. I'm joined, as always, by Rod Gilmore and Mike Golick. And, gentlemen, usually when you have good offenses, you have very good quarterbacks, and that's the case tonight.
Yeah, so much for the defense, I guess. You talk about quarterbacks, so I know you like J.P. Lossman. I like him an awful lot. He's a big-time talent. He's a guy that has a strong arm, but I like his confident attitude. He's a guy that'll sit back there, he'll take the heat, and he'll throw a good pass.
I love this guy because he has got an absolute gun. He has got a pro arm. He gets the ball where it needs to go, and he gets it there in a hurry. He can slide out of the pocket, not going to run a whole lot, but he's going to try and deliver the ball and make the play. On the other side for Louisville, an offense that 5 out of their 6 games, they've had over 400 yards of total offense. The trigger man, Stephon LaForce, is throwing pretty well himself. Only about a 200-pounder, not the size of a J.P. Lossman. But last week he spread the ball around to 9 different receivers, so he's going to find the right guy to get it to.
Yeah, he's very much different from Lossman. He's also a kind of guy who will get out of the pocket. He's a lefty, so he'll move to his left and throw the ball. He's a running threat, and that makes him a different kind of quarterback.
Excellent quarterback tradition at both of these schools, and none greater than the great Johnny Unitas, memorialized outside Cardinal Stadium. Let's head back to the studio. Here's Reese Davis.
Okay, Sean, Trev Alberts, Mark May with me at
Fake laugh.
1-800-COLLECT. Duh.
Sean McDonough, Rod Gilmore, Mike Golick, and Rob Stone back in Louisville. We're already Chris Selfo and Tulane victimized by a terrible call by this Conference USA officiating crew.
Well, that's when I know what happens early in the game, but you hate to have to look back on that and wonder if it costs you some way.
Second possession for Louisville from the 16-yard line. Michael Bush, the freshman from right here in Louisville out of Mayo High School, one of the top recruits in the entire country coming into college football this year. He was a Mr. Basketball candidate as well here in the state of Kentucky, and you know how many great players they have in that sport here. But Bush wants to be a quarterback. He did not win the battle in the preseason against LaForce and the other candidates. He's such a fine talent. They need to find ways to get him on the field. So for now, he's a wide receiver. Down the road, he could be the quarterback here again. LaFleur is out of the gun. And he throws on target to J.R. Russell for a first down. Out to the 34-yard line. The gain of 17.
This Tulane defense struggled the last couple weeks, over 500 yards given up against two squads rushing against them, but they've also had trouble defending the pass. You see the opening right there inside for Russell. But watch, there's plenty of time here. No pass rush whatsoever. Plenty of protection.
And he's more of a placer, where Lossman's going to zip the ball. Yep. LaForge is going to place the ball a little more.
Eric Shelton, the lone back. Very deep drop by LaForge, and he's throwing deep and has a man open. Caught at the 25-yard line of Tulane by J.R. Russell. The safety, Sean Lucas, was nearest in coverage. That's a 41-yard gain and already 4 catches tonight for Russell.
Well, you just saw the last play. There were 5 receivers out. This one only 2 went out. He was going this way all the way and out and up. This is what he wanted. He was going to make this throw no matter what. They kept in max protect, so he had time for the route to develop. Excellent throw. Defenders getting beat.
Well, you know, when you have young guys, they want to be aggressive and jump on things, and they took advantage of that right now.
They mark the ball down at the 23-yard line of Tulane. Out of the eye, it's Shelton. Puts his head down and has a first down. We're very close to it. Anthony Cannon knocked him out.
Well, Shelton is alone. He's a big guy. He was at Florida State as a freshman. He's from this area. Was a big-time recruit. Went to Florida State. Did not play very much there and got homesick and decided to come back to Louisville and won the starting job this season after sitting out.
Big-time recruit was he coming out of high school. And
we heard all about him. You remember hearing about him when he was coming out.
He did not pick up a first down. Less than a yard short from inside the 14. Shelton again has the first down. We spoke with Paul Petrino, the offensive coordinator for Louisville, and the younger brother of head coach Bobby Petrino. He said one of the keys today is getting the running backs back running hard and running well. Shelton had over 100 yards rushing in their first 2 games against Kentucky and Syracuse. Hasn't had more than 76.
A good-sized kid again. At Florida State now is a kid, Greg Jones, who's 240 pounds. Shelton was there. He's about 245, and he can run hard north and south.
First and goal. Louisville at the Tulane 8. They started at their own 16. Shelton again. Leaps over 1 tackler. Touchdown.
Well, Mike, it's not just that the Tulane defense is young. They're small up front.
Absolutely. When you're attacking the end, you're attacking 220, 230 pounders, 245 maybe the most. Outside linebackers, 200 pounds, 210 pounds. And they can't get off the blocks. If you're going to be light, you're going to have to either make a move to get around the blocks. They're just absolutely getting engulfed and run over right now.
7th rushing touchdown of the year for Shelton. Nate Smith, one of the best kickers in the country, adds the extra point. He's a perfect 26 for 26 this year. Louisville first on the board and leading nearly midway through the first quarter, 7-0.
When they won last, so the winner of that game, typically Rose Bowl, at least lately. But we'll get back to Okoye maybe after this play, because it's a fascinating thing to be 16 and playing Division I.
Shelton went in motion on first down. They set up a screen, and Michael Bush with lots of running room and a first down. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line, a gain of 21. Brandon Spencer made the tackle.
Well, nothing fancy about this. Just watch how they get everything going on the inside here. And look, everybody's trapped inside. All their guys are outside now. Easy thing to do. He's got a wall.
You got to be kidding me. And that's too easy. And there's Michael Bush again, this time lining up at running back. We've seen him out at receiver. Wait till he starts taking some snaps.
Great start for LaFours. 8 out of 9 passing for 117 yards. We go back to the eye with Shelton
the tailback. He was going to take the handoff, but there was movement along the line. And another penalty against Louisville. Well, they've improved in that area, but not so far in the first quarter.
I tell you, you don't need to, you know, they're having their way with Tulane's defense pretty much right now. I don't need to worry about all the things they're doing. Get up there, call, play, and run it.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
No need to be real cute at this point. You think, Rod? I mean, just go run a play. Everything's working.
It's almost not fair. You know, you think about the fact that, can you recall a team losing 8 starters on defense so that they're just gone?
No,
you don't have them anymore. 8 starters on defense out of the picture for Tulane.
LaFors slipped for a moment but stayed on his feet, and he finds the tight end, Ronnie Gent, pulled down along the far sideline by Anthony Cannon. Gent has a chance to be a 4-year first-team All-Conference USA player. He's been the first-team tight end in this conference the last 3 years.
He blew out a knee last season in one of the games that we did, and it was terrible to see, but it's great to see him back on the field. He's not quite what he was before. Didn't have that same speed, but it's good to see him back out there.
And that's what he's going to have to improve upon, is his speed for the next level, so he can go out in the slot a little bit and do some damage down the middle of the field.
It's 32 straight games with a catch for Gent, and there's Shelton running hard out to the 50, just shy of the first down. Blake Baker, a backup linebacker, junior from Houston, made the tackle.
Mike, let's go back to this defense because you know, we've both been there in this kind of a deal. Not that bad where you're the only freshmen are playing essentially, but when you have that many freshmen, it's not only that you're physically not ready because you haven't spent the year in the weight room, but also you can't run that many defenses because people they don't know it.
You have to line up and say, try and beat the guy in front of you. Very difficult to do when you're outweighed by 70 pounds and the guy's 3 years older than you.
Extra tight ends in, and there's Shelton bouncing outside untouched. First down and much more. He managed to avoid going out of bounds and got many extra yards down to the 13-yard line. A gain of 37. Finally, Winford Brown and Joey Dawson got him on the ground.
It's got to be so frustrating for Eric Schumann, the D coordinator at Tulane, because you can get you guys lined up in the right spot, having this right play, but it doesn't matter.
Nope, not a bit.
They're going to get manhandled by guys who are bigger, stronger, and older.
You're starting, and Daniel Neville is out. He's 6'1", 230, so a true freshman, Billy Harrison, is in. He's 6'4", 220. I mean, Shelton's bigger than the lineman.
A snap dropped by LaFors, and he fell on the ball at the line of scrimmage.
It has been so bad for Tulane that Neville, the guy you're talking about, Neville got hurt in a computer room.
Yeah.
Not on the field, in study hall, essentially.
Getting out of his chair. All Louisville at the end of the first quarter. Cardinals leading 7-0 and driving again. Looking at 2nd and 10 at the Tulane 14-yard line. Four receivers spread the field as LaFors goes out of the gun and hands it off to Bush. Michael Bush, the freshman, touchdown Louisville.
About beating the dead horse there, Mike. It's just spread them out, let our guys block them one-on-one because they've been mauling them, and then get our biggest guy and let him run it inside.
How bad it's been for Tulane guys. Brant Quick, the middle linebacker, is playing defensive end now. He's lining up an end. I mean, and he's 240. I mean, it's almost unfair.
And the extra point up and good by Nate Smith. One play into the second quarter. The freshman Bush has Louisville on top by 2 touchdowns.
You got brothers. And
you fight with your brothers.
Exactly.
Well, we asked all 4 of them what are the positives and negatives, and none of them really came up with any negatives. The pitch missed by Mweldy Moore. He drops it again. Louisville struggling to pick it up. And the ball rolls all the way back to the 28. Where Louisville has recovered. Brandon Johnson, a linebacker, recovered a disastrous play for Tulane.
Yeah, Moore just took his eyes off of it, and it got up around his face mask, and he dropped it, and then it started looking like a rugby scrum.
Yeah. But he did, you know, and I don't blame him for it. Everyone says usually just fall on the ball. I don't mind a guy trying to pick it up and make a play. I know that's not the conventional wisdom.
I'm not with you on that.
Hey, you know what?
You got to fall on that
There
ball.
was nobody around him. He had time to pick it up, then he got it stripped out again.
Look, you took the chance and you lost possession.
You did.
fall on the ball, you have it.
Look at your record. Look what you're doing. You're going to have to take chances if you're going to ever do anything with this team, the way they're handcuffed all the time.
There's LaFors with lots of running room. He's near another first down. Terry Rhodes stripped Moore after he picked it up. And then it was Johnson who recovered. And it's Joey Dawson who tackled LaFors. Very near another first down. He's about a yard short of the 19.
You can't really believe that.
Oh, absolutely. And I know I'm so in the minority of this. And it depends on the situation. Here he dropped it in the backfield. It all started with he did take his eyes off the ball. He started looking downfield.
He compounded the mistake.
There was nobody around him. Go ahead and try and pick up the ball and make a play. I do not have a problem with that at all.
He compounded the mistake.
There are so many coaches around the nation just yelling at me right now because they don't ever want their back or person to do that.
Colby Smith, the ball carrier. Which Friday night now, maybe you guys give me a little advance warning, and I have to bring the whistle or the referee's uniform because...
Well, if he would stop disagreeing with me and realize he's wrong...
Well, no, that's pretty simple. The guy makes a mistake, and then he compounds it. Now he puts a young
What if he
defense
picks it up and runs for a touchdown?
Well, likely that's going to happen. He's
Let me tell you what, this
guy.
guy's a fantastic player, and there's nobody around him. There's nobody around him.
Too risky.
Pick it up, try. Yeah, there it proved to be, absolutely. But I don't have a problem with it in the right situation.
Here's Bush. And he made his way to the 10-yard line. We hear the term slash now all the time, going back to Cordell Stewart, when Pittsburgh used him innovatively in so many ways, and that's really what this Louisville offense has in mind with Bush. And, of course, Bobby Petrino knows about Pittsburgh and what they did because he coached with Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville for 3 years.
And he loves Michael Bush. He's listed at 230. He told me on the field he's probably about 250. Big legs, hips, and guys just bounce off of him. He's just an incredible looking athlete. So the slashes are getting bigger and bigger nowadays.
I was going to say he's going to grow out of being a quarterback if he doesn't, really take care of that, because he could be 265, 270 in a heartbeat.
2 years will be a left tackle.
Yeah, he wants to be a quarterback. It was an interesting story. Many of the people were watching on ESPN the GMAC Bowl last season when Louisville was playing Marshall, and the rumors started to spread that John L. Smith, the Louisville coach, would be leaving after the game.
Right.
While that was going on, Bobby Petrino, then the offensive coordinator at Auburn, was in Michael Bush's house here in Louisville, recruiting him to go to Auburn.
Right.
Well, the next day, Bobby Petrino was on his way to becoming the head coach of Louisville. He called Bush back, said, hey, your dad told me he's a big Louisville fan, so why don't you stick with that and come to Louisville instead of Auburn? That's what happened. Bush already a touchdown tonight, and the Cardinals lead 14-0.
V6 Accord from Honda and by Northwest Airlines.
There was an injured official who sustained a cut. That's the reason for the stoppage in play. Now back to the action and back to the end zone for Eric Shelton. An 11-yard touchdown and a 20-0 Louisville lead.
They're making it look too easy. We're talking about the line getting blocked. This time it's wide receivers down the field. Broderick Clark blocking Sean Lewis downfield. Everybody's getting into the action. Running backs have the easiest part of the whole thing. Just hold on to the ball, run it in the end zone.
It's almost like watching a baseball game when the hitters start going. Now the blockers go, me too. I want to block too.
Nate Smith to add the extra point. It is good. And it's a 3-touchdown advantage now for Louisville as Shelton scores his second touchdown of the night.
You're going to see again, they break it, bounce it to the outside. Nobody getting off blocks. There's the block right there, Broderick Clark.
But look how bad it was for the fullback, DJ Kamer. He had nobody to block. He turned around to look for somebody.
It's too easy, guys. It's too easy. Between the line, wide receivers down the field, and a running back that weighs 245 pounds. I don't know what the answer is. You'd put in the box 9 then they're going to sit there and dump it over the top. I mean, you can only, as you said too, Rod, it was a great point. It's a young defense, so you can only call so many different defenses before these kids' heads are going to explode. So much smoke's going to come out of their ears.
Yeah, I mean, at least right now with what they're calling, the guys can line up in the right spot.
Yeah.
You start doing all these other different fancy things, and you won't even have them in the right spot. You won't have the same people on the field.
All of a sudden, you want to try some run blitzes, possibly people up and everybody getting into the act. I mean, these are your two horses right here, Lossman and Moore. These are the guys that are going to have to try and do something for this offense.
He's inching closer to that 4,000, 2,000 mark, 4,000 career rushing yards and 2,000 receiving. And there's Rhodes picking off the pass by Lossman at the 1-yard line. That is the 11th interception of the season for the Louisville defense. That's more than they had all of last year.
And Lossman made a mistake there. He never saw Kerry Rhodes coming over. Rhodes, you see him top of your screen. He's reading him all the way. There he is right there. He sees him. He wants to make the play. All the time focused on Lossman.
Well, this is one where Lossman going left. Difficult throw, but he's got such arm strength and confidence that he can get the ball there, but he didn't throw it soon enough.
And they got to convert this third. That's his main problem so far.
Let's take a look at the stats from the first half. First downs even, but the rest of it a major advantage to Louisville. It again last week against Army. They had 618 yards of total offense against the Cadets. Matter of fact, Army coach Todd Berry fired after that game, and they're on their way to a 600-yard plus game tonight if they stay on this pace.
Yeah, you see that 185 jumping out at you. Remember, Tulane's defense, we've talked about it all night, but they gave up 558 yards on the ground in their last 2 games combined.
Or rather, Wade Talochka will kick off, and Tulane will get it. Fred Smith and Bruce Yeomans back deep. And they each other in the end zone, and Yeomans decided to run it out. That's a bad decision. He stopped short of the 10-yard line.
You know,
Brandon Sharp, a true freshman from Jacksonville.
Are you as frustrated as I am? But can you believe that? I mean, if you're going to bring that ball out after you make that mistake, you cannot dance around. Watch. You drop it. If you're not listening and you're going to run it, don't dance. Get up the field, because all you're doing is allowing everybody else to get down and trap you inside the 10-yard line.
So J.P. Lossman, despite being under siege throughout the half, managed to complete 10 out of 18 for 97 yards and a touchdown. It's Moeldy Moore just trying to get them some breathing room. Tackled by Marcus Jones at the 10 to gain a 3. Moore and at 20 yards receiving. So he's at exactly 4,000 yards rushing. To become the second 4,000, 2,000 man in college football Division I history. Tristan Smith lost the football. Louisville has it at the 15-yard. 20 Harris covered the football. Minkin.
Oh, it looked like that play was stopped. I thought maybe that there was no further progress, but it looks like the ball came out later. He's still, and they pulled the ball out.
Look at me on the ball. You don't hear whistle, you play whistle, you try and pull. No, hands are on it. Out. Smart play by Minkin.
Last year, Lane forced turnovers. They forced 43 turnovers. But tonight, they've been coughing it up. Tackled by Billy Harrison. 3 turnovers tonight for Tulane on 2 interception.
Oh, this one, gimme for they're already in scoring position on it. If they come out with less than a touchdown, they're going to be disappointed.
One thing doesn't do is get out.
No.
I mean, are you kidding me?
That's a 15-yard line in the back. 2 tight ends in the game. LaForge throws it away. Michael Roberts in pursuit. Roberts playing courageously for Chris Selfo. He's been playing with a very sore foot. But they're so thin up front. So he is playing.
You mean thin as in what?
The guy that got some good time last year as a backup last year was kind of a senior dominated line, but the thing I can't think about that guy is a straight A student in high school. Straight A's.
Out of those kind of guys. Institution.
Yep.
Graduation rates in the line Gates stopped well short of the first down. So a job. Change over to defense by Tulane. Sean Lucas made the tackle and the field goal unit comes on.
That's a win in the set game situation for Tulane's defense.
That's a big win.
There's Nate Smith.
Now if they could just get Sean to jinx his kicker, they'd be okay.
What do you want to say? Yeah. He just made a field goal to become their all-field made lead. He's a cinch to this one from 29.
It wasn't without effort out of you.
I'm an equal opportunity jinxer. With a perfect track record. 27-7 Louisville in the quarter.
At Fort Knox, game here, one play. The bus or reservist.
And will be the rest spring. LaFour's run. 39 Anthony and Brandon. Yard run for LaFour's. So far, Estes has not been involved in the action on this field tonight.
What a great story, though. I mean, that's just
unbelievable.
I mean, no matter what anybody thinks of what's, I take the fact of the bravery of over there. I mean, that's undisputed.
Now his 7th rushing. Nice job by Grant Quick, number 32, to force the play wide and give Sean Lucas a chance to come up and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line.
I'd say Grant Quick, the guy linebacker. Solution. You're going to put your hand on the ground.
Well, it got so bad they move a wide receiver over to D-line.
To D-line. I mean, it's
this week, Preston Brown. In pass the full swan, it is juggled and almost intercepted. Richard Owens couldn't catch it. Anthony Cannon had back. He has a first down and much more. They fake in. He's out and nobody was near after a 20-yard game.
Let it develop. Then he sees the crossing route goes. The linebacker goes hanging behind the line until it clears out. Yards. A lot of space. Nice patience. It gets right there when somebody runs.
And this time they do to Shelton. He's pulled by Black and Joe. The fourth quarter.
It was ground attack, 210 yards. Shelton on the ground carrying tacklers away to get things going before Tulane started.
Yeah, Lossman gets a couple TD passes. 27 right there. They'd really do quickly again. Last week they had only 17 minutes and scored 42 points.
We're talking about differences from a year ago. Louisville, one of the worst in the nation last year, 104 country. Now with that carry by Shelton, they've already rushed for more yards this season in this 7th game than they did in 13 games last year.
You know, Bobby Petrino told us that growing up, he was coached in a hard, tough is that way, and that begins with being able to run the football, pushing people out of the way.
Well, you see it all, running the football, discipline, trying to cut down on the penalties. I mean, that's fashion football.
There's Shelton.
That's about as fast as you get.
Eric Shelton out of the Kentucky to Florida State for 1 year. Didn't like the playing time as he waited behind some talented backs ahead of him. Transferred back to his home state and has had a 19 carries and 3 touchdowns, and Nate Smith's extra point and good. 13-19 left quarter. Louisville 30. Skins made the hit.
You break down film second grade. He was still well, was in grade school, but he helped his life, you know. Like when he was a freshman.
Going to take it. Reception. Rough night for the Tulane offense, and Louisville's offense has got so much attention this year. Perhaps the defense hasn't gotten enough. Petrino Jr. will be in family of networks because his son's team scored. For the Cardinals.